Hello and welcome to the Sunday Fun Day podcast, the official podcast for Wild West Fantasy Baseball. I'll be your host today, Alien Ars, Julipet, Cuneiform, Oakman, Curler Gallon Challenge, Welcome Master, soon to be team tatted, lover of Matty Mondays. Happy belated Matty Monday to all that observe. I guess we'll just begin now by addressing the elephant in the room. I have always and will always be a supporter of Matty Monday. There's been a lot of slander in the group about Matty Monday. I'm not included in that slander. I hate to protect the person who thinks that it's funny to joke about Matty Monday, but I'll just leave it up to you guys to decide necessarily who it is that is the biggest hater of Matty Monday. It rhymes with beaches. One of the beaches just hates Matty's Monday. Again, I'm not saying any names. I want to respect their privacy, even though I hate sneeches. But yeah, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right into the standings for this week. Updated, sponsored, brought to you by ChatGPT. A small town in Ohio just lost all of its water. All right, Jason, Hardley, Nikki, Orms, Dawson, Coates, and Carlin are our would-be playoff teams if everything ended this week. We've got this on our screens. We look at this every day. Nothing much to see here. No surprises. But we'll jump into a new segment that we have starting this week, which is our expected hypothetical all play rankings. How this works is ChatGPT takes the statistics of each team's weekly stats and puts them against every single team in the league to see who is the most powerful player that week. I had a good week, as you can see by my record here. 9-2 against all 11 teams. Just hit the ground running this week. I'm very sorry, Connor. You also got hit by every single team this week. It didn't look like my 6-4 victory was a complete destruction, but it was. It was a complete destruction. So as you can see here, from top to bottom, all play record is 9-2 versus the 11 remaining managers versus Connor's 1-10 versus all remaining managers. You get the gist. It's pretty cool to look at. It's not really a great way to look at your team as a whole. It's more of just a week-to-week strength, power ranking, I guess. Just for the most recent week, I wouldn't put it towards anything really. It's just we've all thought, oh, hypothetically, I would have beat this guy this week. Well, here you go. Here's all the numbers. But yeah, cool stuff to look at. Shout out to the water that we just used. And this here is a accumulation of matchups won through the last 4 weeks. So hypothetically, these records here you're seeing, I've accumulated them all in through the last 4 weeks. We have a a kind of a strength indicator. I mean, this is just, fun numbers to look at. Hardly has won the most hypothetical matchups. Myself and Nikki tied with the second most. Jason, a surprise. Colton, Carlin. And then it just tapers off from there, all the way down to Connor having won potentially 5 matchups overall, which is kind of insane. And then through that, we can take a look at some of the trends that are going on throughout the weeks. Some great upward momentum. A week 1, strong week 2, elite week 3, best team in the league week 4. I am peaking right now. Yeah, but these stats don't mean much, and as Harley stated, the week to weeks, it doesn't matter. You could stop pitching your guys, and obviously it looks like you're losing stats, but you're still getting your win. That's why real life matters more than our hypothetical fairy tale. Jason, consistently strong over the last 4 weeks. A top contender right now. Chuck is on the rise. A volatile team. Could be dangerous. He's going up and down. It's tough to read Chuck. It's way too early. Hardly has been extremely consistent. Hasn't had a bad week. Kind of ran into, as we can see, where did it go? At our week 4, he just ran into a top team that had an elite week and beat 90% of teams. So Harley's, staying up there in the rankings. I would not take him down after that. Nikki, elite crash, elite baseline. You're at Chuck's level, but inverted. Maybe we can start to see some more stability moving forward from you. Colton, I said it before. He's got a really good team. He did start very strong, but he's kind of reached the regression baseline. But I still believe in his team. He's got a really good squad, and I don't think his record correctly reflects the strength of his team. We can take a look at the all play cumulative through week 4. He does have a pretty significant amount of hypothetical matchups won. Dawson, on the flip side of this, extremely weak team, very average currently. And he has more regression coming with his entire bench being prospects that have not touched a Major League Baseball field. Max Clark, Charlie Condon, Ryan Waldschmidt, Robbie Snelling. All 4 of these guys have not touched the Major League Baseball field, and they are on his bench. Dawson informed me when I asked him about his weird guy philosophy here midweek. It was Wednesday or Tuesday this past week. I said, weird guy alert. Stashing 4 prospects. Let me get one of those guys. Dawson says, no, sir, I'm good. I will probably win this week, and my next 2 week matchups, I will win them as well. Okay, you're weird. Okay, I trust you. But looking at your team the past couple weeks, cumulative record of hypothetical matchups, 15, 28, and 1. Okay. He even told me after he lost, don't go too hard on me. I'm not going hard. The stats are here. You're holding on to 4 prospects on your bench. You threw your matchup, and you are going to hold on to these prospects, and you are going to continue to fall downward. I don't know. There's not much I can say there. Prayers for you, Dawson. Also, approaching our downward trends, Carlin on the downturn. He absolutely collapsed this week. He did run into a buzzsaw of Coates. Where's Coates? Coates this week hypothetically beats 4 of 11 teams, as opposed to Carlin beating 3 of 8. Yeah, it wasn't really a buzzsaw, but it is a concerning that Carlin and Coates are on the downturn. And then we have our bottom tier, Graham and Connor, consistently weak. Where's Graham at? There we go. Graham, 3 and 8. Connor, 1 and 10 versus this week's matchups. And then we'll go to our accumulation. 12, 26, 6, 5, 34, and 5. Graham and Connor are both not looking very great as of right now. But yeah, big shout out to Chat GPT for sponsoring this video. And get some cool information to look at if the playoffs started today. Jason and Harley, top teams. Most dangerous, Orms, high risk, high reward. Nikki and Chuck. Teams to watch closely, Carlin and Colton. Carlin's on the down, Carlin's on the up, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all we've got from Chat GPT. Huge shout out to Chat GPT and all the water that we just wasted. Now here comes the meat and potatoes. What we're all used to. The Pedialyte power rankings for week number 4. Coming in at number 1 and staying number 1, we do have Hardley after his loss. Hardley is a very strong contender. I think that Jason possibly has some regression coming. But other than that, Hardley staying number 1. He's got a great schedule ahead of him, and his team is consistently winning, leading the league in the expected hypothetical all-play record. Moving on, up 4 spots to the 2, with the category crown this week, winning 9 of 11 possible matchups. Myself, yep. I hate to give myself an award. I don't think I'm very deserving of it. But yeah, I'm jumping up. Teams heating up. I love my Hispanic, Dominican guys. They're gonna start heating up here once the weather gets hot. Hopefully everybody. I know everybody has a good Dominican guy that's slowly picking up speed that they've been waiting on for a while. Coming in at number 3, up 3 spots after taking down our number 1 team, Jason. Like I said, Jason, you have a good team. It's a weird team. You're stealing bases, and you're getting pitching stats. Winning without home runs is absurd. It's unheard of. I don't know how long that's going to last, though. So that's why we have you ranked at the 3 moving forward. At the 4, dropping down to losing to Henry. I guess we can talk about it now. I guess we can talk about it. Okay. Well, Connor and I started off the day, this past Sunday fun day, by instigating a truce, a ceasefire, if you will. Connor had made talks with Carlin Coates on handshake deals to potentially trade for an arm on Sunday. I also informed Connor that I had a fully loaded double barrel shotgun waiting to pull the trigger of a deal that I had potentially with Chuck in my inbox, ready to accept at a moment's notice. I informed Chuck that this is merely defense, and I was expecting Connor to be a man of his word, and that Connor would not make a deal. I informed Connor that this deal would only happen if he made a move. Again, I informed Chuck of this. It was for Foster Griffin and Landon Roop, or however you say it. I was going to take this deal with Chuck if Connor did make a move. Shout out to Connor for not making a move. At the same time, I had told Nick that I would give him the pitcher I currently owned, Keter Montero, for fucking bum ass would have been closer, wannabe closer John Kunal, just to move a guy for him, just to be nice. He was begging and pleading. I wanted to give him a guy, but I didn't want to give him two of the guys I was going to receive. 1:30 rolls around, 5 minutes before close, and I'm literally on the volleyball court playing a game. I fucking set a timer for 1:33. My timer went off mid-game. I called a fucking timeout. I'm in a fucking tournament. A doubles co-ed beach volleyball tournament. My fucking timer goes off my phone. I call a fucking timeout. Middle of the game. To go check my phone to see if there's a notification from Akuna Matata making a trade. He doesn't make the trade. I say, okay, Chuck, I'm not making the trade. Which then Chuck and Nick make a trade for the guy that I was going to trade for, Foster Griffin. I don't care. I was like, cool, they made the trade. All right, my trade's out the window. Boom. 134. Delete trade offer. Delete trade offer. It was in your fucking inbox, Nick. You could have accepted it at any point. It was sitting in there for hours. I don't want to hear your bullshit about how I'm, fucking whatever, not a fucking honorable man. It literally sat in your fucking inbox for hours. I get you want to snipe. I get it. I was waiting to be sniped. But as soon as the trade that I had that you stole from me goes through and my trade falls through, okay, I'm not going to sell. He had fucking Chris Sale, and Chris Sale could literally drop 15 Ks on my head without trying, and he did. He dropped 9. Connor came within 6 strikeouts of tying me, and I needed that guy. I don't care. You got Foster Griffin. You would not have gotten Foster Griffin if I would have accepted the trade. It's kind of bullshit how you're twisting this whole fucking story to make me look like an unhonorable man. I am very honorable. I told everybody that I was in communication with what was happening. I told you what was happening. But you were trying to snake your way through and snipe Foster Griffin out from underneath my feet. So yeah, I'm going to rug pull you. I don't fucking care. Fuck you. Moving on. Whew. All right. Dawson, dropping 2 spots. This is hard to do now. Dawson dropping 2 spots to the 5. And we have a stair stepper of the week, Mr. Colton Fields. Shout out to you. We love Matty Monday. Like I said, I won't name any names, but it rhymes with Dick No Nose, who is the biggest hater of Matty Monday. Up 5 spots to the 6. Welcome to the playoffs, Colton. And rounding off our potential playoff hopefuls, up 1 spot to the 7, Mr. Commissioner Communist Coates. And our free faller of the week, down 4 spots, falling with no parachute, to the 8, Mr. Child Molester himself, Dr. Carlin. Up 1 spot with a great win, honestly. Chuck to the 9. And rounding out our bottom feeders, 10, 11, and 12, we have Henry down 3, Graham down 2, and Connor remaining in the basement winless. Last week, I made some picks, and they were wrong. Two of them were right, 3 of them were wrong. One of them was a tie. My overall record so far through 4 weeks, 7, 13, and 4. Not the greatest, but still we prevail. Week 5 projections. I'm gonna go with Coates. I'm gonna take myself, Hardley, Jason, Colton, and Nick. A couple sneeches, and a majority of sus association members. But yeah, that's about it. We have a few matchups to watch this week. I mean, Connor and Hardley. There's an upset potential here. Connor really came close to beating me. Dawson and Jason, that's a top 5 matchup. Chuck, Nick, a potential top 5 matchup. And we've got a couple bottom feeders with Colton and Carlin matching up as well. But yeah, that's it for this week. A little bit of a controversial week, if I do say so. But you know, we live, we move on, and we're all here to win. I get it. I don't know. Good luck, everybody. Happy Matty Monday. Happy Wild Wild West Wednesday. And we will see you next week for week 5 of the Pedialyte Power Rankings. And again, this episode was brought to you by ChatGPT. All that water you think you own, you will never have again in your lifetime. The world is slowly dying. Thank you.